It didn't matter how many countries Bindi visited, she never lost her sense of wonder about being somewhere completely new. Here she was in Africa. The air smelled different, the water tasted different, even the ground was different. In this part of Africa, the soil was a rich red color. It was as if someone had spilled a pot of red paint and it had seeped deep into the earth. They rode in a single file with Tabu in the lead and Hannah bringing up the back. Bindi liked being in the middle. That way she could talk to both Hannah and Tabu. So far that morning they had heard the calls of lots of animals but not actually seen any. They had even played a guessing game where you had to try to name the animal by its call. Tabu was the judge as he was an expert when it came to African animals. Tabu held up his hand signaling for them to stop. They had communicated a few times that morning using hand signals. Hannah had explained that the sounds of their voices could scare off any nearby animals. They waited wondering what could be lurking nearby. Then to Bindi's disappointment, Tabu signaled for them to keep riding. Another false alarm. Bindi was beginning to wonder if there really were any wild animals living in Africa. When will we see a lion, Tabu? Bindi asked. Bindi loves lion. She especially liked their cubs, the cute cubs. Who can say, Bindi? Was all Tabu answered. They rode on for a little while longer, but the day was growing hot, and it was time to rest the horses. They tied them up in the shade while they ate their lunch in a nearby height. A height was a man-made shelter that blended into the bush. It allowed you to watch animals without them seeing you. This height was next to a waterhole. If they kept quiet, they would be able to see the animals up close when they came for a drink. The three of them sat in silence, eating their sandwiches and watching the waterhole. Still no animals. Bindi cleared her throat to speak. Tabu gave her a warning look and put his fingers to his lips. Uh-uh. Bindi sighed and whispered, I just wondered when you think we will see something. Tabu smiled at her persistence. The animals will come when you least expect. Hannah pressed a couple of animal-shaped biscuits into Bindi's hand. In the meantime, you can make do with this, she whispered with a quiet giggle. Bindi stared at the bright pink icing on her rhino-shaped biscuit. She wondered if it was the closest she would come to a real African animal. She beat down hard on the rhino's leg. Shush! Hannah pointed her finger to her lip and pointed. Approaching the waterhole was a herd of springbok. They were a Native American antelope, brown and white in color, and they could run super fast. There were about 8 adult springbok and 3 young ones. They were very elegant. As they reached the water, they spread their spindly legs and dropped their heads to drink. Bindi was spellbound. Finally she was seeing the real Africa.